It's been a good 7 months since we've seen anything remotely new in the form of characters. Kage was the last character we've seen anything of, and many of us thought that the DLC wrapped up completely. Finally, Capcom broke their silence and delivered Season 4 in the form of a teaser, introducing our 3 new characters, E Honda, Lucia, and Poison. First off, I have to hand it to Capcom for sticking to a formula that works. Introducing new characters alongside returning ones is a nice touch. After all, a lot of us want to be amazed and excited, and that does the trick. Initially, I was expecting some fan favorite characters that the community has been begging for. Maybe see Viper, a Third Strike character, or even a character from the first Street Fighter game. Instead, we got E Honda. Naturally, I was confused. Not to talk down on E Honda, but fans have waited over half a year for an announcement of some kind for Season 4, and the first character that we see is E Honda. For a character that I personally had no interest in, I think he looks great. He was translated well, along with being given nicer animations. I don't like to complain. It takes a lot of work to develop these characters. I simply nodded my head and watched on. The second character sparked my curiosity, Lucia. Hey, I hope you don't mind me cutting in here. If you liked the video so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Admittedly, I've never played Final Fight. I didn't know who this character was at first. After looking into her conversation with Cody and Hagar, I did a little digging around. Lucia was a playable character in Final Fight 3. I thought that it was pretty cool to have another Final Fight character on the roster. Despite what little I know about Final Fight, I respect the series and its history. It's nice to know that the series lives on in some way, and I couldn't think of a better place than with Street Fighter. I watched a bit of Final Fight 3 gameplay and found myself impressed with how her moves were translated. A character that can utilize their legs is a guilty pleasure of mine, and her kicking animations and pyrokinesis attracted me the most. I also have to give praise for her redesign. In Final Fight 3, she didn't look anything like a police officer. Now, she has a uniform that shows a sense of style as well as authority. Lucia was the high point of the trailer to me. She is a character that I feel is worth being optimistic about. The third character that was shown to us was Poison. Upon seeing her character, I didn't have any large expectations for how she would play. The one thing that never sold me on her gameplay was how she didn't utilize her whip more in long distance situations. Overall, I was neither impressed nor disappointed. However, I would be lying if I said that I wasn't disappointed with the trailer itself. Let's point out the elephant in the room. There were no huge, highly anticipated characters revealed to us. My expectations weren't all that high, but I expected someone along the lines of Viper, Makoto, maybe even Yoon sprinkled in. I know they're holding back a few characters until later on, but as far as first impressions go, I'm not blown away. Some people may complain about having to wait so long for these 3 characters, and honestly, I can't blame them. I don't plan on jumping on any hate wagons, but I plan on waiting for the rest of Season 4 to be revealed before giving my final judgment. For all we know, the last few characters may be heavy hitters. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that Capcom did something questionable. For all of the Final Fight characters and references that we have in the game, there better be a new Final Fight game around the corner. Capcom have been knocking it out of the park with their games as of late, like with Resident Evil 2 Remake, Devil May Cry 5, and the list goes on. That reminds me, Capcom released a compilation game called the Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. What if they were testing the waters to see how well it sold? You know, for a potential Final Fight 4. With Streets of Rage 4 stealing people's hearts, there could very well be a resurgence. Returning to the topic at hand, if this was going to be Capcom's announcement at EVO, what was the reason for Sony sponsoring the event? I know that Ono deconfirmed Street Fighter 6, but what if Capcom prepared a teaser trailer for what would be a concept or tease of the game? We're talking about Capcom, the same company who released Ultra Street Fighter 4 the same year as revealing Street Fighter 5 and releasing that game nearly 2 years later. All I'm saying is, anything's possible, and I'm looking forward to whatever Capcom has coming our way. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, Check out my video on when Street Fighter 6 should take place. You'll love it.